Go ahead. Okay. Today we're going to discuss the topic being negotiated between the NFL players and coaches and the NFL team owners in reference to expanding the 16-game football season to an 18-game football season. And how they plan on doing that is by eliminating 2 of the preseason games and making that go from 4 to 2. Sounds pretty good, but consider this. What would you do one morning if you walked into work and half of your peers got hurt the day before and then weren't going to be able to do their work that day? Suppose this. There's 53 people that you work with. 17 of them are unable to complete their task. The work still has to be done, and the expectations don't change, but now you're in deep trouble and you've got to use temporary workers. This is exactly what happened in the NFL with one of the premier teams in the league in 2010. The Indianapolis Colts. 17 of their starting players were lost to injury. So watching football is a very popular form of entertainment for American population. One has to wonder what the effects of increasing the season from 16 games to 18 will have. Increased player injury, decreased player development, and just morally it's wrong. Today what we're going to discuss is information that we got from the National Football League, the NFL Players Union, and the NFL Owners Association. One more time. Alright, first, let's get into what some of the most common injuries in football are, how it affects an athlete's career, and how injury affects the overall performance of the team. According to the NFL, the most common injuries are related to hips, ankles, feet, and hamstrings. Recently, there has been a significant increase in the number of reported concussions. So, concussions have a long-term neurological effect which can shorten or even end players' careers instantly. By putting 2 more games into the regular season, players are more likely to get hurt and their careers are liable to end quicker. So by increasing the number of games, thus increasing the amount of injuries, the 18-game season will begin to have a long-term negative effect on the quality of the game. A couple more times. Alright, there you go. Let's see what happened to the Indianapolis Colts this year. So let's look at their past first. From 2005 to 2009, they played 80 regular season games. They've won 65 of those games and lost 15. That gives them a win percent of 81%. So now, let's take it one more time. 2010, 13 games through the season. Right now, as of today, they've played 13 games, have won 7 games, and lost 6 games. So that puts their win percent back down to 54%. Well now, look at one more time. With all the interest of these starters, it seems like the rational thing to do is count on coaches to have the answer. Look at one more time. After all, according to one of my idols, John Gruden, he can't remember his wife's cell phone number, but he can call flip right double X jet 36 counter naked waggle at 7X quarter in his sleep. So coaches count on their starting players, and they're not entirely sure about a player's certain skill set, even if it is a little bit more difficult. By eliminating half of the preseason, a coach is unable to really evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of players on their roster. Player development to get the best roster with the best chance to win is a major part of an NFL coach's job description. They've got to have ample time in the preseason to be able to come up with how they can put the best players on their team to win. Here's an example. So many NFL fans may have heard about a certain quarterback that was drafted in the year 2000. 199 overall draft pick, 7th round. So since then, Tom Brady, for the New England Patriots, has won 4 Super Bowl titles. And this year, right now where they stand, they've got the best record in the NFL and are a real viable candidate to win the Super Bowl. So now we talked about injuries and we talked about player development. Let's think about this morally. Comparing an athlete in the NFL to the average person is a little bit difficult. Most of us don't make $750,000 a year. We go to work 5 or 6 days a week, followed by a day or two off. And then, it's also pretty uncommon for us to blow out an ACL, an MCL, or be concussed at our jobs. However, there's a common trait. The common trait is this, is that we're all paid to do a specific task. So this brings common morals into the equation. We're asking someone to do more without additional compensation is just not right. Asking these starting players of a football team to play 2 more games violates morals, and in the end is just not the right thing to do. In conclusion, with the information we provided today, we've discussed why changing the regular season from 16 games to 18 is just plainly stated a bad idea. Number 1, it's going to increase player injury. Number 2, it's going to slow player development. And number 3, morally, it's just wrong. So a lot of times, professional athletes, they're demonized as money-hungry individuals. However, very few of us deal with the fact that on the other side of that ball, there's a 6'6", 325-pound paid killer trying to make a name for himself, and his sole purpose in life is to inflict pain. 16 games is an equally balanced schedule which provides teams ample time to prepare for games and keeps players healthy. The 18-game season creates too many problems and should not be implemented so the owners can make a few extra bucks. Thanks.
Okay, that's